Hello guys and welcome to HRL Season 5. This is going to be Grand Finals round number 3. Twisted Circuit GP. Here we are. We are at the first Moto of 2. Going to see the end of the entire Grand Final here in these next 2 videos. Man, well, the end of Season 5 as well. It's been a great Season 5. Really enjoyed it. Season 5 compared to like the past 2 seasons, the best part about it, I would say, is that it, for the most part, I would say ran the smoothest of all the seasons. So that was the best part about Season 5. There was no huge controversies. There's like Mount Greco for a little bit. For the most part, Season 5 was really clean, and I hope it comes to a clean end here at this Twisted Circuit GP. Going to be starting the race here soon as that light goes green. There we go, green flag, and we're off for the, sad to say, final motos of HRL Season 5. Oh, look past the tree. Okay, looks pretty clean so far. Nobody with like any major wrecks. You can see some big dives coming out. Plenty of drivers just trying to make moves early. I mean, that's kind of what you have to do on this track. You kind of have to, when you have an opportunity on this track, you have to take it. You absolutely have to go balls to the wall. Because if you don't, it's gonna hurt your chances. It's gonna hurt your chances of actually like coming back later in the race and like gaining some of those spots. I mean, this track is very, very close. With times, and as a result of that, it's very hard to make up time. So when you get an opportunity, you have to take it, you have to risk it. Hopefully it works out, and if it works out, you might be able to gain, holy crap, Fireball just flew off the track, you might be able to gain a spot or two more in the future because you were able to make such a fast move so effectively and just get through the pack. So that's what that's what I would say this track is all about. Taking those moves when they present themselves to you. That is what you need to do if you want to be successful here. Interesting start so far. Fireball completely wrecking out. That was pretty bad. Going for some sort of crossover move as well. Let's see what he's trying to do there. Yeah, definitely trying to make a move on detail, but just not able to do that quite yet. Into the night camber. Real Deal in the lead. Luke in second. Slaunch in third, and Roman in fourth. Looking improved from his semi-race performance, trying to redeem himself a little bit here. Roman with a decent grand final. I'm always going to go to Chancellor, dude. It's never going to get out of me. Decent grand final so far. I wouldn't say it's like I wouldn't say it's his best performance, but I would say it's so far it's very similar to his performance in last season's grand final. Actually, it's very, very similar to the point where it's like so middle of the road. Like Roman has had some pretty high highs, especially at Hollywood, I would say. The second moto kind of sucked, but the first moto for him was pretty good. And obviously a pretty good performance at Prison Yard as well, but like not good enough. And that's kind of been the story of his grand final so far. If he can get up past launch and get his way into some of these podium positions here in this first moto, and then have a solid start in the second moto, I think he could salvage a really good grand finals here in this race. But his whole performance as a whole throughout the entire grand finals, I think, is going to hinge on this track. It depends how he's going to do overall here, because he has a chance at. I think he set himself up to where he can gain a lot of points, or he can do like middle of the road again and not really move anywhere. So he's done a decent job setting himself up for a good points finish. I don't think he's going to be able to compete for that actual championship, but decent setup for having a better grand finals than last season, at least potentially. Speaking of which, we're going to go on board with him here, watch him try to track down Slaunch in third place, and that's what I think Roman really needs to do if he wants to move himself up in the point standings a little bit. I mean, obviously, Real Deal is who he's competing with very closely. I think, if I recall correctly, Real Deal was like 1 point in front of Roman at the conclusion of Prison Yards. So, if Roman wants to actually gain some spots here, he needs to finish ahead of Fireball, because Fireball he could easily pass, because Fireball's not going to race the second moto. So far so good in that department. And then Real Deal is another guy he needs to look out for. Roman needs to outperform Real Deal here, because Real Deal is another guy that Roman has a very legitimate shot at passing in points. And if he can, those are the two drivers that you should look out for with him. If he can outperform them, then he might have a chance at like sneaking into a bronze medal position for this grand final. If he can't, and it's not going to be looking very good. Slaunch running really loose right there. That kind of helped Roman out because Roman made a mistake prior to that, so definitely helping him out a little bit that Slaunch makes a mistake literally right after, so it kind of like evens out. Actually, I think Roman definitely benefited off that more. At least it looks like it. So, I think I talked about Real Deal a little bit in the semi or the heat, but yeah, Real Deal, like I said, 1 point ahead of Roman going into this. So everything that I just said to Roman, you could pretty much apply to Real Deal as well. Very similar situation, except for the fact that Real Deal did not race in last season's Grand Finals. That's the main difference. Everything else you could pretty much apply to him as well because he's in a very, very similar spot. Just replace Real Deal with Roman, and there you go. You pretty much have like the same situation. Coming up here on 5 minutes left. We're at the halfway point, at least for the timed segment of this moto. Kind of sad to see it all go by so fast, but yeah, season 5, very close to ending here. Of course, don't want to see it end, but we're moving on to bigger things in season 6. So it's always a sad thing when the season's coming to a close, but at the same time, it's kind of nice because you know that a new season is around the corner very soon. And you always have something to look forward to, so that's the nice part of it. Real Deal doing a nice job holding on to that lead. Luke with the rough last couple of laps, lost a lot of ground there, but then gained. I guess Real Deal must have had a bad corner there because Luke kind of gained it all back and is now pretty close to Real Deal again, maybe about a goose length and a half between them. Fireball, whoa, I just saw him veer into the screen. What the heck? Fireball's in 5th, looking to try to make a move on Roman for 4th. I did not even know he was that close. I thought he was still really far away, but apparently Fireball has been making gains off screen, low key, and he is right there behind Roman. Very hungry, I would say, because Fireball knows he needs to. He knows he needs to get a good finish here to actually like be able to rely on where his points are to get a good finish. Nice two-wheel there out of Real Deal. Nice two-wheel save. That if Real Deal wins the moto, that is the highlight for him because if he didn't save that, this could be a completely different grand final. This could be a completely different moto. But the fact that he saved that and actually held onto the lead is huge for him. He probably just clenched his cheeks super hard. I'm not gonna lie. That was probably a very scary moment for him. And Luke's getting all over him right now. So this is getting pretty intense for Real Deal, almost crashing. And he's got not just Luke, but the entire pack really is right there behind him. Like one mistake, if that two-wheel goes wrong, he's outside of the top 5 potentially. Where is the rest of the... Okay, so I just saw a detail for like half a second. He was like hiding with the way that circle part was, but detail's right there too. So possibly like Real Deal makes one mistake, he could lose a top 5. He could go completely outside of it. Not just the podium. The entire top 5. That is not good. So as much as it's nice that he has the lead in this situation, it's also kind of a burden because he's going to have tons of pressure on him. See, making mistakes there as well, making little contact with that tire. You're going to see a lot of that, and that kind of leads a domino effect down the pack that kind of slowed Luke down a little bit, and Slaunch kind of tried to make a move, but obviously got slowed down a little bit. So now Roman is right there as well, trying to make a move on Slaunch. So that caused a whole domino effect. It looks like Roman might have. Wow, great move out of Roman. He's going to get into the podium spot right there, and that's huge. That's what I was talking about earlier. That's what Roman needed to do in this moto. So now he needs to hold on to that 3rd place spot in order to have a solid finish out to this grand final for him. He needs to hold on to that. And we have Fireball potentially, and now Details here too. This is all falling apart for Slaunch. Fireball is going to aggressively take that spot, and now he is in 4th place. Exactly what he needs to do, and now Detail is there breathing inside of Slaunch right there for that top 5 position as well. And Detail, holy crap, that was close. And Detail as well, obviously, he's the main contender with Slaunch. So this is not the moto that he wanted. If he had a better semi and was better heat, better semi, and was starting up front, then this would be looking very good for Detail's odds of actually like legitimately making a comeback right now. But with the way this moto's gone so far, it's not looking very good. His odds are not looking very good. And if he wants to have a shot at maybe taking that Grand Final championship, he needs to get by Slaunch right now. He needs to somehow just make some insane moves in these last like minute and a half or so, and needs to get into that podium spot. Needs to have Slaunch outside the top 5. That's the only chance he's got, is if he can like realistically. That's the only realistic, semi-realistic chance that he's got, is if he can make some crazy moves, get into that spot, get into those spots. um, and gain a few points. You know, at least gain like 2 to 3. I would say he needs at least that much. He needs way more than that, but at least that much to have a shot. Real Deal and Luke still having a great first and second place battle. We've seen a few of these between these two throughout the season. Gridiron, yeah, Gridiron was a good example. I think, well, it wasn't too much of a battle, but it ended up being a 1-2 finish. There was Dillian as well. So we've seen these two in this exact position a couple times before earlier in the season, and it's always pretty exciting. These battles between them are always very, very close. So looking to see this possibly be very close as well, and come down to a nice finish here between the two. Roman's still holding on to that third place spot, looking very nice, looking like he's going to hold off Fireball, at least right now, unless Fireball just pulls something crazy out of his pocket, which he already has. I mean, the fact that Fireball's where he's at is impressive. If he gets a podium, though, that would be huge. If Fireball gets a podium here, he has a good, legitimate shot at holding on to a decent, like a top 5 points finish here for the entire grand final while missing a moto. That's crazy. I think that's a testament to low key how good Fireball's grand final has been. That if he gets a good finish here, that he could not make the entire second moto, get an automatic last place finish in points second moto, and still finish top 5 in points. That's insane. That's definitely a testament to how good his grand final has been. Makes you wonder how good his grand final would be if 1, he could make the second moto, and if 2, that lag spike. Oh no, oh no, this is gonna get really interesting now. 2 laps to go. I'll finish my point real quick though. It makes you wonder how good Fireball's grand final would be if the lag cheese didn't happen, if he could have made this second moto, and if he didn't lose that Hollywood Moto 2 in insane fashion. If those crazy things, like I said, if the stars aligned, I feel like this could have easily been a Fireball repeat grand final if the stars aligned. But obviously with the lag and the no Moto 2, those two are just bad luck. The first one, that was just a mistake. The other 2 are bad luck. Here we go, white flag, final lap. Things are getting really interesting here because you have, oh my god, Real Deal's spinning out. No! Possibly losing this race in the final moments to Luke, and Roman is right there as well. So this could be very interesting. Either of those 2 drivers could have a legitimate shot at stealing this from Real Deal if he makes another mistake, because that's how these last couple laps have gone. Real Deal just mistakes all around because clearly he's got tons of pressure on him, but he's trying to hold on to it. Huge dive there. Luke's not able to make the move. It looks like Real Deal should be able to hold on to this. And here goes Luke for the crossover move. Gets a ton of momentum, but not able to get enough momentum. Real Deal going to hold on for that victory. And Detail somehow got by Slaunch while all that, and Fireball fell back to 6th. What happened? I have no idea what happened, but something went down, and there's still a shot, I guess. There's still a shot with the way that finish ended out. So crazy moto right there. Absolutely insane. Not looking good for Fireball now. Definitely look forward to the second moto, the conclusion of the grand finals, guys, coming up next.